Nat? Are you up? Are we up? Okay. All right, so now let's talk about unleashing the power to heal. And the power to heal, you're going to find that where?
In your belly button. The most important button you'll ever push is the belly button. So we have our belly button healing kits, and these are the wands that it comes with.
And the little belly button buddy.
Yep, the little buddy is to protect your belly button, because if it wasn't on, it would just be a little harder, and it can hurt your belly button if you aren't used to doing it.
And just know this, that some of you out there, you'll just be able to just go this deep and go, oh, I feel pain. That's because you're ready to blow, okay? That means that the good bacteria in your body have gone bad, okay? How's that? Okay, it means that you have inflammation, you've got adhesions in your whole abdominal cavity, like scar tissue growing, sticking your small intestine with your large intestine, actually causing things not to be able to move properly. And this is where we get into trouble, okay? So understand, what we want to do is, out there in society, what are they teaching you? They're teaching you that you've got to be alert. You've got to be on your guard. At any corner there could be a terrorist. Something's going to go wrong. We've got to always be on our guard. And understand, when you're always on your guard, that means that you are dripping adrenaline and cortisol into your body on a continual level, creating these adhesions, creating crystallization, scar tissue formation, and the pulling of calcium from your bones. So they want you to always be terrorized, because the more terrorized you are, the more you're going to be tearing your body apart, and the more money you're going to have to spend, because you're going to be in a hell of a mess. And what we're here to do is to tell you to take back your life, calm down. We're going to teach you about connecting to your breath. We're going to teach you that when you start playing with your belly button, you're going to unleash the most powerful healing chemicals in the world faster than anything else you can do, just by doing this.
Totally. So they want to keep you in a sympathetic state, but we're here to show you how you can get into a parasympathetic state. And
stay there.
Yeah, and this is the only state where we can heal. A sympathetic state is that fight or flight response, where we're always in fear or terror, like we might feel like we're under attack. So the parasympathetic state is that state of relaxation, where we're going to be getting our daily dose of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. So our belly button is the #1 button to push to get into that parasympathetic state.
And here's the other thing. When you're in a sympathetic state, you're in a contractual state, which means that you're pushing your blood supply from your abdomen to your pelvis out to your arms and legs. Every time that you are in a sympathetic state and you're sitting down and you're not running from a dinosaur or a tiger, then the acid is going in and it's eating your body away. This is why we're in a big mess. And remember something. 75 years ago, we would have 3 traumatic moments a month. We now have 17 a day, and 99.9% of them are all made up in our head. That's what they've done to us. So understand, we need to really get a program where we get connected to our breath, because unless you're in the present moment, you're not in a parasympathetic state. Unless you're in the present moment, you are not creating. You are destroying yourself. Unless you're in the present moment, you'll never make proper decisions. You'll be reacting instead of taking proper massive action to heal your body or to help your family. And every time you react, that's when you cause troubles, and you find yourself having to apologize for things that people you've hurt or things that you broke, especially your own self. So we want to teach you, because the parasympathetic main trigger is the belly button. And when you use the lion heart breathing and you trigger these 2 things and you start learning how to do this process, then you're going to rewrite a new program. Wouldn't it feel great if you felt safe with yourself, your life? Or and you know what? You can say, well, I don't feel too bad. Yeah, but guess what? How much are you connected to your breath and know you're breathing in? How often are you smiling? And we know that the majority of the population only experiences joy 2% of the day. You can't be in a parasympathetic state.
No, you can't at all. You're in a sympathetic state if you're constantly in that state. So we're going to start by setting this down, because I'm going to check in with myself and see how my stretching is. Because with belly button therapy, we're not only going to get that daily dose because we produce serotonin and dopamine from our gut first and foremost. So we're dumping 70% of our serotonin and 50% of our dopamine by stimulating the belly button. We're also raising our core body temperature by 1 to 2 degrees. And when we do that on a consistent basis, dis-ease can't live in the system. So important. And then of course for pain and inflammation, it is incredible. So that's why I'm gonna start the stretch, because we're gonna notice areas where we're tighter, things are a little bit more creaky, or we might notice a little bit of cracking going on. After we do the belly button therapy, we're gonna check in with the same stretches, and we're gonna notice way better range of motion, at least 25%. And we're going to notice that those areas where it was tight or creaking aren't gonna be as painful. So,
And understand that your hormones move at lightning speed. That's why you're gonna see that we're gonna do the belly button therapy for what, 3 to 5 minutes?
yep.
And we're gonna have 25% more stretch in our body. You'll have more stretch in that 5 minutes than you would get in 45 minutes to an hour of yoga. Now, we're not telling you not to do yoga, are we? We're trying to tell you that in a New York minute, in lightning speed, you can bring yourself into a parasympathetic healing state, a state of joy.
So we're gonna start by stretching our arms. So we'll just do a nice little check-in, see how tight our shoulders are, and I'm already gonna get connected to that Lionheart breathing, so that way I'm already ready when I start the belly button therapy. So that's the 6 seconds in through the nose, holding for 1 second, and then exhaling for 7. So,
And understand something, you may not know this, but when you do that 6 seconds in, that's enough to expand your chest that it actually tickles the ends of the fibers of your vagus nerve, and it triggers the hormones. So the breath and the belly button. So, play with both. Get your breath going, get your belly button pushed, and turn it on.
so I notice my shoulders are tight, so I've been doing a lot of deep tissue this past couple weeks with our course going on, so that makes sense. So I'm gonna now just touch my toes and see how far I can go. And I'm pretty flexible, so I can touch my hands to the ground and just breathe into the stretch to get yourself relaxed. The more you relax yourself during the stretch, the more relaxed you'll be once you start doing the actual belly button therapy.
So remember the Lionheart breathing, you want it when you're stressed. You want it throughout your day. Even if you could every 5 minutes have a little bell go off on your phone to remind you to check in with your breathing so that you actually know you're alive.
And just stretching the quads. Basically just checking major muscle bellies and areas for tightness. So of course we're gonna feel it in our hips. Most people have tight hips. I'm gonna stretch my sides. See how far down I can go. Noticing a little bit of cracking in my back. A little bit of creaking and cracking. All right, so we're good to go. I know where all my areas are that I need to pay attention to when I do the stretch again. So we're gonna start by stimulating the belly button. So let's first get into that breathing. So 6 seconds in. Holding for the 1 second, and exhale.
And understand, when you start this, you can go as slow as a snail if you're already tender, but don't give up on yourself. And every day do a little bit more. And that's the reality, take action, okay?
So we're gonna start by going straight into the belly button. So I'm gonna come on an angle so you guys can really see. And you wanna get a deep pressure. Of course, you're gonna start off lighter, baby steps. We don't wanna go too deep at the beginning, but you do wanna work your way to a deep pressure. Like I've been doing this for a long time now, so I can hit my spine when I do this and it doesn't cause me any pain.
And stay connected to your breath and just enjoy it, okay? And like I said, just go to the point of, okay, it feels a little tight, I'm not gonna go past that. This is not supposed to be torture, and eventually you're gonna get there.
Yeah, and I'm kind of moving it around, trying to see if there's little angles I can play to get into different areas, feel different things. And then we're gonna come on an angle downward. So first we were going straight in, that's step 1, straight in. Step 2, we're coming on an angle, so you can see this is almost straight up and down. We're coming into the belly button still, but we're trying to get right at that cecum, which is the pouch at the start of the large intestine. So we're coming into that right hip. So we're really trying to get under there to stimulate the large intestine, get that cecum.
And you're angling it down to the cecum.
Yeah, so, okay, so you can see it's angled down like this, straight, and then from the side, this is how it's angled to get under that.
Yeah, so you're
Just
gonna
like so.
angle, yes, you're gonna angle down to your cecum.
Yeah. So it's on a slant, slant to the side, and slanting upwards.
And you might feel a pull up around your stomach area, up around your solar plexus or your spleen area. Don't worry about it. You're not going to injure yourself. And guess what those are? Those are adhesions.
Yeah, we're
So
just
when you
pulling
feel
those
a
adhesions
pull
apart.
anywhere here, meanwhile, I'm here at the belly button, but I feel a pain down here, or I feel a pain over here. Those are adhesions, and you're going to be gently taking those because you want your intestines to be sliding together, not sticking together.
Yeah.
Okay?
And also with this, how I was saying how I've been doing this for a long time, I can actually touch my spine. I was mentioning earlier how I have that knot right around this area. So even doing this belly button therapy has offered me such relief in that one spot that just is so tight. And it's making it a lot easier for the therapists who are working on me with the deep tissue techniques and non-surgical techniques that we have, just to, because I'm daily working at it to soften and loosen everything up. So it's not only good for your abdomen health, but your spine health too.
Mhm.
And then we're gonna angle up. So same thing, how we were angled down, like this. We're doing it this way now. And on an angle towards the hepatic flexure, right
Liver
rib
gallbladder.
cage. So you
Yeah.
can see here, angling up. So this is step 3. And you can even, when you're doing step 3, coming through the belly button to the hepatic flexure, angling it a little bit to your side to even get your ascending pull and just get everything moving. We can get lots of gas trapped here. We can get the poop having difficulty time traveling up to get across that transverse colon. So the more we stimulate this area, we're gonna encourage all that poop to come and move.
And you might feel a little bit of a pain, and it could be just the small intestine and adhesion letting go from
Yeah.
another part of the small intestine. Don't let that bother you.
You have to
Just
remember,
relax.
it's like 30 feet of guts just pushed in here. So we're gonna have some little knots and twists and adhesions and things
That's right.
sticking together. It's
And
just a part of it.
feel good about it,
Yeah.
and know that you can't hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you
You'd
feel
be
those,
surprised how many people call us all the time. Okay, well, what are the side effects? What are the negatives?
Mhm. because they've been brainwashed
They've been brainwashed.
to all those,
Don't
prescriptions.
touch yourself, and definitely don't touch anybody in the family. Just everybody suffer.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all those big pharma commercials brainwashing over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, so after we do step 3, which is the hepatic flexure area, we're now going to come straight up towards your sternum. So the sternum is right here, and we're angling it up still in that same downward angle, but it's just straight up. You can see I don't have an actual tilt on either side for this one. And this is stimulating the transverse colon.
I had a surgery in the lower pelvic area, and when I started doing this, it was like years later. And believe it or not, I could feel exactly where the operation was, and it probably took about maybe 4 or 5 times,
Yeah.
right? And then I also realized I needed to go in there and get some deep tissue, right, to release that
Yeah.
knot.
Yeah, and I would feel it when we come down towards the bladder because of past bladder infections. That's where I would feel it. I'd feel like that same burning sensation from the bladder infection. Doesn't happen anymore though.
So yeah, come straight up. You can angle it, but just make sure, like me, I like it right up.
Yeah.
I like to pull that right up because I want to feel like I'm pulling that cord right from my groin right up.
See the angle. We're not coming straight in like we did first. We're angling it up because we want to stimulate that part of the colon.
Now you can do this laying down in bed.
Yeah.
Okay, just understand that. So I'll do it. I do it every morning. I'll do my Lionheart breathing first thing, and I'll do my gratitudes, and I'll do this. And at nighttime, I'll do this before I go to bed. Why? Because you'll sleep like so much better.
Yeah.
Start your day in a parasympathetic state. End your day in a parasympathetic state.
You're gonna have a much calmer life, and that's what we all want. Everybody's living in such panicked, anxious lives today.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Exactly. Next one, so step 5, we're coming up towards the splenic flexure, left rib cage. So same way that we did the hepatic flexure, we're just coming up the...
And adjust your
other
hands
angle.
like I do. See how I adjust them? One here, one here.
Angle, and that's what it looks like from that side. And we just stimulate working up. So this is really good for any strictures, colitis, spasms,
Polyps.
all the things we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
All the colon problems.
Even ovarian problems.
Yeah.
Ovary, uterus.
All comes from
prostate.
the large intestine, like we were saying, the mother of all organs. Once that's taken care of, everything else falls into place.
It's funny how we think we can just sit on the side of the street and wait for someone to save us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get that whole splenic flexure playing little angles, really trying to get in there and open up that tissue.
And look
as
at how
best
much
we can.
movement we have.
Yeah. Yeah,
This
you
is
don't
what
need
you
to
want
just.
after a while.
Some people are just like this when they start, and that's totally
And that's
fine.
okay. That's okay.
But try to work up to that pressure. Get in there. That's when you're really going to notice that 25% increase in your stretch,
Yeah.
and that you're going to get the true release of those hormones that you really want. And then step 7, if I'm counting correctly, we're angling down towards our sigmoid left hip, and again angling it up like that, and then on the angle down. And this is the area of the constipation.
This one's the tighter one for me today.
Yeah, this is.
And I'm feeling it right there.
Yeah. I was feeling it on this side for me.
I can also feel it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Yes. Even on your chest?
Yeah, I think it might be because of the dairy I did.
That'll
But
do
did
it.
after I had that meal, I
Scary
didn't know they
dairy.
put dairy in it. I could actually, my breathing was like heavy
Yeah.
that night.
It's a scary
Talk about a
feeling.
win, okay. Well, we do know that dairy is the most inflammatory food, and it's the main food that causes cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Don't,
okay, Corky,
don't go near
have
it.
another slice of cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was poisoned with dairy the other day, eating out as well.
Yeah, you got
And
it.
I was like vegan. I was very adamant about that, and they still put cheese in it. And I took care of business when I was done. Well, I caught it and I stopped eating it, and then went crazy with the Digest Complete. We were talking about this earlier, so just so anybody knows if this happens to you, Digest Complete, I probably took 20, took 3 HCl, took a lot of tummy love, a lot of fulvic acid.
And she waited for the chef to come out that night, and she attacked him.
Got my revenge. No, and then seriously, I did a coffee enema, took a lot of tea, and I didn't have a reaction like I normally have,
No.
which would have been really bad skin problems for like 2 months.
And not just that, but you might think that we're overreacting and that we're health nuts. Well, guess what? No, we're awake, okay? And we know what feeling vibrantly healthy and alive is.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, the majority of the people watching this, they do not.
No.
And I am not knocking you, so understand that.
Yeah.
It's just that it's your God-given right to have it, but you're gonna have to claim it.
Totally. And I know for myself, dairy was one of the biggest things that was taking my health down and was causing some of the biggest problems in my life and health. So for sure I was gonna take major action to not let that happen.
Yeah. And you know what? And here's the deal. You're going, wow, if they're so healthy, why do they react so much? Well, because we are so healthy.
Exactly.
When your body takes a poison, it goes, get it and stop it. When you do the dairy, your body goes, well, you might as well keep it. You might as well keep it because it's all they're going to give us anyways, and they don't even know they're in pain.
Totally.
Right. Okay.
All right, step 8, we're gonna come straight down towards the urethra bladder. So this is really good.
Yeah, and that's when you really want to get right into that belly button.
Yeah.
And really trigger.
And see that downward angle? We're not straight in like that first step. Down. Really stimulate. This is so good for the pelvis.
You have no idea how much money you just saved.
Yeah.
Yeah, on everything. Digesting and surgery and...
Yeah.
You know what?
Supplements.
I'll tell you, this little puppy here will get you pregnant. Okay? That's what, you heard what I just said. Okay? All right?
He's magical. Just kidding. All right, and then you can just go to any other area.
Bad buddy.
Bad buddy. Okay. After you do the bladder urethra, you would come straight back in and just finish it off, and then you can go to any other area that you felt like had that stickiness, or you just needed to get in there a little deeper, then go at it again.
And she didn't need stickiness.
Yeah. And I'm gonna come over here because I know that I have that knot right there, and I'm just gonna keep working at my belly
Talking
button.
about stickiness, the other day I got a phone call, and this lady goes, I don't know, I must have did something wrong, and she goes, I started leaking from my belly button, and I go,
Oh.
was it sticky? And yeah, and that's because she has so much inflammation in here. It's a belly button, you know, it's not.
Like mucus like in here.
Yeah,
Like
and it
wax
just started
like
coming
in
out.
here.
And I said, well, there you go. Did you start the tea? Just made it. I said, start drinking it. And I said, that's going to come down, but keep doing it. Just keep doing it. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to come out.
Just like any other hole.
That's right.
Nose hole, ear hole,
Yeah.
belly button hole,
Yeah. Yeah.
mucus.
Yeah.
All right.
I told her if she did it long enough, her bum would fall off.
Well, you never know.
Okay. All
Now
right.
that that's done, we can check back in with those same stretches. So I'll just quickly do that and I'll let you guys know what I feel. Way better in the shoulders. Or both shoulders now.
Yeah, you can tell. Can you tell? Easier.
Yeah, like tension. There's still a little bit. I still feel it. I need to get some deep tissue work in my shoulders, but hardly at all.
Yeah, we all did last week. We all worked like 12, 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because we had, we
Course.
still do, we still have the courses on, but we had
And then we do treatments
4
after.
families here.
Yeah.
4 families we were treating, plus we had 13 people in our course.
So I can get it. I mean, my hands are already
Look at this.
touching the ground, but I can go way lower.
Yeah, see this? I mean, the proof is in the pudding, guys. We're not exaggerating here. Come and get some. You know,
Yeah.
how expensive is it?
Well, and yeah, it's like
You can go right on our website, you know.
bumping a lot over a belly button watch. It's not like it's a, yeah, no, it's amazing.
We're going to teach you how to unleash things at the most inexpensive but powerful way.
Yeah.
That's our game. Just like our supplements, all our
Oh,
supplements,
goodness, that's crazy.
see, there it is. All our supplements are based on frequency, not what's in them, because what's in them doesn't necessarily mean it's going into you. Did you know that everything you eat and drink leaves the body? The only thing that stays behind is the frequency? So do you think, yeah, now do you understand why everything we do has got to be high charge, high frequency? Because it's always about that, and it's got to be nano. You'll always hear us
Yeah.
talking nano.
Yeah.
It's not how much is in the capsule, it's how much gets in the cell.
Yeah, that's what's important. We can take
Yeah.
as much stuff as we want, but if it's not actually getting down to a cellular level, then it's not doing
Yeah.
its job.
So just think, if you come home and you're stressed out, okay, go ahead and eat. See how that's gonna digest. Go in here and just say, hey, guys, I'll eat in 3 minutes. Go in here and just get into your breath and lightly just do this, and you'll put yourself in a parasympathetic state, and now the money you're gonna spend on that meal is not gonna go to waste. You're actually gonna digest it because you just put yourself in the state of healing.
Totally.
Okay, so you can't be bun on the run and think you're going to digest anything.
No, definitely not. That's
Okay?
one of the biggest rules to eating is never eat in a hurry, never
Yeah.
eat when you're panicked, or never eat when you're in an anxious state.
So if you got to call your mother-in-law, okay, or father-in-law, or call anyone else, or do something like call your job, or do anything, just connect to your breath, put some soft music on maybe, do a little bit of belly button therapy, and guess what? And then go, I got this. All right.
All right, we got that. Now we're gonna show you how to get into a really awesome squat.
All right?
Let's do it. Okay. So our pelvis activation squat. Is that good? Okay. So I will demonstrate it, and you're going to talk through it.
I'll talk through it. Okay, first of all, we added this into all our therapies, and we added this a long time ago. I've been doing this for years, and I'm going to tell you something. When they gave you the toilet, they took away your most powerful attribute, and that's squatting. Okay, if you had to sit down and squat 2 to 3 times a day to do something, right? Especially females would squat even more, right? Okay, why did God create females that they don't stand up when they pee, that they squat more? Because when they have time to have a baby, they're ready. Open, boom,
And
open.
that's the natural state to actually have a baby, and it was man and doctors who put women on their back to make it more comfortable for the
Well,
doctor to deliver them.
No, it actually was because of Henry VIII. He had a peephole, and he was actually watching his wives and the birth coming out of the birth canal, and that's the true
Oh,
story.
it goes even deeper.
Henry VIII, that little sneak, okay?
I heard a
Little
lot of things
peephole,
about him.
peephole, and he's right there. That's it. So
Alright.
that's why you're on your backs today, because of Henry.
Henry.
Oh, Henry. Okay. All right. So anyways, so once they took away the squatting to go to the bathroom, they took away opening you up like a flower. Okay. So that's it. And that's why women don't stand when they pee. They were meant to squat at least a half a dozen times a day to keep the pelvis open, and that would keep it healthier down here for the baby, because it's called love it in the oven. You know, got to keep it healthy in there.
Yeah. Keep
Okay.
it open and lots of room in there.
So that's why during the day, if I'm at a meeting or I'm somewhere, or even I go to the airport, I just go like this, and I'll come down and I'll squat. I'll squat. If I'm at the airport waiting, or a bunch of people are talking, or I'm at the mall, I'll just do it. Nobody knows what I'm doing, but I'm actually doing that because you can stretch your back out, open everything up, get the circulation going. This is your root chakra. Okay, remember something, everybody. Your pelvis is like the fireplace right here. Okay, that's where the heat's generated. That heat then goes to your coccyx, which goes into your spinal fluid, and then it goes up, and then it comes up the spine, goes into your brain to create the energy for your brain, and then it comes back down. And it just keeps going like this. Did you know your spinal fluid carries more light than anything else in the human body? And even your blood cells, they are ferry boats of light. Did you know your mitochondria won't work without light? So it's that light, okay, that you get going up your spine to your brain to make everything work, okay? So,
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to show how to do the squat. So I'm going to first start with my legs in facing out position. And I want to get my foundation first and foremost in the right order. So I want my shoulders back and my back nice and straight, my sternum up, and then a slight smile on my face, chin up, so we have really good posture getting into the stretch or into the squat. So I'm going to start with my hands in prayer. If it's hard for you to come like this, you can always come forward if that's easier. I'm going to start like this. And we just squat down. Inhale when you're coming down. Holding for that 1 second, and then your exhale is when you're in your position. So I'm just going to move my feet out to the side more because I want to open my pelvis up even more, so getting a better turnout.
yeah, if she was on the floor, she'd even go wider, but we want to show this and understand something. As she's breathing, you know, instead of the hands facing forward, they're going to come up, and the arms are going to go out, bringing the knees wider and wider. So you want to put your elbows right in here, where she has them. See where they are?
And I'm pushing my elbows into my inner parts of my knees to really open it up and pushing firmly in my palms.
Please don't think you have to be here right now. Okay, so when you go to do this squat, if you've got a table and you can only go that far, go that far. Okay, and then hold it as long as you can before cramping, and then come up, and then relax, and then do it maybe 6 times that day, that's it. And then find something lower, like a coffee table next time. And then next time, just put your hands on the ground, like this, okay? So then you'll put your hands on the ground. So step by step, you'll get here. So understand that, right? So table, coffee table, hands on the ground, okay? And then eventually, we'll open up, okay?
Baby
Right.
steps are the key to healing.
Yeah, and when you decide to jump 2 steps, and you didn't perfect the first step, and you trip, that was your subconscious saying, I don't want you moving forward in life. Anything new, I'm going to keep you here. You're not dead yet.
All right, so I'm going to come out of this squat, and I'm going to show you the more advanced positioning, and it's just an adjustment with our feet. So I'll stand up, and then I'm going to bring my feet closer together. You want to bring them closer together because it makes it more difficult. So if it's too hard to have them shoulder width apart, make them a little wider. Do whatever you need to do to make sure you can get into the squat. And same thing with our positioning, shoulders back, slight smile on the face, make sure your chin is up. And as I squat down, this one is more difficult, like I said, so my heels are going to lift up. And as I breathe into the squat, because we're holding it for that good 2 to 4 minutes, as I'm breathing into it, my heels will come down to the ground. So.
And understand, it's a little harder for her too. This is just a foamy, so it's giving her some juggling room. You've got solid ground, okay? And if it's your first time doing it, make sure you do it on a rug, okay, or something, so that if you lose your balance, it's going to be easier, okay? But just be easy on yourself and understand, perfect this. It doesn't cost you a nickel, and it is everything. And I want you to do this, and once you get going on it, I want you to get doing it 1 minute every hour until it becomes so, well, whatever you can do it without being crazy. But 1 minute an hour even, okay? So we'll do meetings here, I'll be on the phone, and I'll just go, yep, it's time, right?
Make the most of your time.
Yeah, make the most of your
day.
time, make the most of your day. You know what? People do not realize that all the things that we're doing while we're talking to them. We are staying connected to our breath, staying connected to our heart. Okay? You're allowed to feel good. Okay?
And that's the squatting.
That's the squatting.
And I don't recommend doing it on something like this because it is squishy and it's going to give you a little bit harder time balancing. But for the demo purposes, we just wanted to lift it higher up so you could see it better. But like Dr. Wolfe said, carpet to have a little bit of cushion under your feet is nice than on a hard floor.
Yeah. And just know this. You got this. You got this.
And it's so amazing. Like, that was hardly any time at all, but I can feel how much more open I am all through here. So.
How would it feel to be at any age, even 80 or 90, and just go, yeah, boom. Right? That's it. So, you know, I'm 63. And guess what? There's people that are, let's reverse that, 36, that could never keep up with me, energy-wise, flexibility, health-wise. Both my parents passed away before they were 55 with cancer. Okay, most of my relatives are sick. I don't even know any that aren't sick. So, that's the bottom line. So, don't embrace sickness, okay, ever again. Okay, that's what is being sold out there right now. All right, so never compare yourself to anyone else. Don't look at anyone else when you go to do yoga. Don't look at anyone else when you go to do the squats. Look at yourself, and every day lovingly push yourself forward and say, I got this. I was created by God Almighty, and I got this. All right.
And the only competition, you basically said this, but the only competition you should ever have is with yourself and just trying to be a better person than you were the day before. Continually improving, whether it be 1%, 2%, 3% a day that you make yourself a bit better. You're gonna be
in a playful way, be competitive.
Yeah, totally.
Never put yourself down.
Yeah.
And know that I'm unlimited. Whatever I can do today, I can do better tomorrow. Never limit yourself.
But never compare yourself to somebody else. That's the biggest thing.
Old age, forget it. It's scar tissue, it's calcium displaced, and it's crystallization, and it's a terrible attitude where you've just limited yourself by limiting beliefs, okay? And remember something, if everyone lived like Abby and I, okay, all the pharmacies would have to close. The supermarkets would have to close. The medical doctors would have to stop. The hospitals would have to close. There would only be one little center for people that if they got into a car accident or emergency care, everything would close. So you decide if you want everything to close means you're going to have to open up. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for joining us. And next we're going to show you how to do the pelvic activation, pelvic expander.
The pelvic expander. Dr. Detox pelvic expander will be back with you. And here we go.